in the same category, and I know a lot of trains guys have to deal with a lot of these things, so I think it's a great idea for this week. I'm covering anxiety because I've been dealing with anxiety since I was a kid. Um, yeah, so I mean, most of my anxiety when I was a kid kind of came from gender roles. I was always I would shame myself for not being, the normal person, I guess, that society wanted me to be. Um, so when I was a kid, I would feel uncomfortable about something. Like bathrooms, for example, when I was a kid, used to make me really, really anxious and give me a lot of anxiety because I was scared to get confronted by people, or I was scared for somebody to ask me what my gender was because just, I don't know, it gave me anxiety. Um, I would feel so trapped in myself that nothing could help me. There was days I felt like I was dying. Um, about the time of high school, yeah, probably sophomore year of high school is when I really hit rock bottom. I wasn't able to leave my house. I would be walking on the street and literally feel the cars coming, like driving off the street just to purposely hit me while I'm on the sidewalk. Like, this is the kind of shit that would be going through my head, while I was trying to do normal things, go to school and go out, have friends, that kind of stuff. But anxiety really stopped me from doing a lot of those things, especially in high school. There was times I wasn't able to go to school for weeks at a time because I wasn't able to handle um, myself. I couldn't get myself out of this I was like stuck in my anxiety, completely 100% stuck in it. Um, yeah, I wouldn't eat because I was just so nervous all the time. That's where a lot of my stomach issues come from, is my anxiety. I get anxious and my stomach gets like this and I won't, be able to eat. A lot of people also deal with depression and anxiety, which is you know, anxiety is already much to deal with, but then when you put depression on top of that, that's like a whole different story. Um, but ways that I have dealt with my anxiety, and a lot of it has to do with my gender identity problems since I was a kid. Nobody really explained any of this stuff to me. Nobody explained what anxiety meant to me. Um, I was probably like 15, 14 years old when I knew like the definition of anxiety and all of this, the what brings it, how it works. So when I was almost out of high school, or about high school time, I got hypnotized because of my anxiety, and my anxiety also led in with anger. I wouldn't know how to deal with it, so immediately I would get really upset at myself, and I think that's normal. Um, so I got hypnotized, and all of my anger literally went out the door. A lot of my anxiety went out the door too. It was an amazing experience, honestly. I can't even like explain it to you guys because you have to kind of go through it. But I got hypnotized for my anxiety, my anger, and depression. And when I woke up, I felt like a new person. And I know there's a lot of thoughts and people's opinions on getting hypnotized. It's expensive. My mom had it done for me because she thought it would help, and it did. And after a while, obviously it's not magic. It's not going to be like, boof, you're clean, you're done. No more anxiety, no more depression, no more problems. You have to work on yourself, obviously. But I've really found that with my anxiety, it comes from within. So, I mean, of course, I'm sure a lot of people, but there's also a lot of things that also can trigger anxiety that makes you anxious. But with me, I feel like I really had to do a lot of like me searching, soul searching, whatever you want to call it, to figure out why I was so why I had so much anxiety for literally everything I had to do in a day, you know. I started doing yoga, I started doing meditation, and I cannot tell you guys how much that has helped me. Yoga is great for so many other things than just staying flexible. One thing that yoga has done help me with that really nothing else has is breathing. So when you're doing yoga, you need to breathe a certain way. It relaxes your body, it relaxes your mind. It also makes sure you don't get injured while you are, you know, stretching and moving in weird ways. So the breathing part of yoga literally opened my eyes about so many things. You don't necessarily have to do yoga to practice breathing, but breathing in general, if you just want to practice breathing, that has saved me from so many anxiety attacks, especially in public, because like yesterday I was in a car and I completely just lost my shit. I started crying. I was like uncontrollably shaking out of fucking nowhere, you know, and we were going out to breakfast with my girlfriend, so I was like, Jesus, you know, you have to pull yourself together. You can't just walk into a restaurant freaking the fuck out, you know. So I smoked a cigarette. This is why I also, people ask me so many times why I smoke these so much. It's because of my anxiety. This is the worst fucking habit you can pick up. You know, a lot of people that have anxiety, depression, that deal with pain, smoke cigarettes because it's a mind distractor. That's what it does for me. Most of the time when I'm anxious, I'll smoke a cigarette because it makes my mind think of something else. But no way in hell I'm suggesting you to smoke cigarettes. That's just what I unfortunately have picked up as a really bad habit to kind of cope with a lot of things that I had to deal with in high school. So yeah, but breathing, yoga, meditation are my number 3 things that that work for me, that I can pass on to you guys when it comes to dealing with anxiety. Meditation is great. You can walk on the street and meditate at the same time if you really wanted to. There's really no right or wrong way to meditate. There's sorry, it's cold. I'm shaking. Yeah, so those are the things that help me with my anxiety. Also sports. I've realized that sports and writing have also really benefited my anxiety as well. I bike a lot, like free sports, not sports that you are entitled to do this, this, and this only, and you can only do that. Like, I personally never liked sports with more than one person because I'm very competitive and I just like to do what I want to do. Like I used to skateboard a lot. That's a really great way to express yourself. You can skate how you want to skate. You can dress how you want to fucking dress. You don't have to follow anybody's way of doing anything. Also biking, I used to BMX a lot. It's another way to release any kind of negative energy from yourself. Anything that you can control, you yourself can control, you know. Try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, try to move on to something else. Alright, sorry this video is so long. I just had a lot of things to talk about, but thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.